You're silly. You are silly. You're a silly girl. Yes, you're my silly girl. Sorry, I'm talking to my dog, whoever just joined. Hi. My dog has a giant chew in her mouth and she's trying to get out the door, and the door is partially closed, so she's trying to open the door, but she's pawing at the door jamb. Buddy, are you being silly? Are you being a silly girl? Go on and leave. Leave is that way. Good girl. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for joining. So I am working on this painting that I've done a bunch of streams of. I'm working on this mostly in streams, but this is my version of the Canada Food Guide. So there's a photo similar to this that was commissioned by the Canadian government. But I wanted to paint some of my favorite produce. So the stuff in mine is a little different from what's in the original, the real version, I guess. And I want to rearrange some stuff because this is cluttering more than I would like. Wait a moment. I'm going to move this elsewhere. Maybe move that up. Got really great light from outside right now, but that's not going to last very long because it's still getting dark quite early. So I'm just trying to make sure I get enough light. Overall, I'm not. Too much shadow on here. Maybe that's all right. I'm looking forward to being done this piece. I can really see the end now. Been going for quite a while because it's just very, very intricate. There's just a lot of different little bits of it. And I have been working on a bunch of other stuff throughout, so it has taken a while. It might be a bit of a quiet day. I haven't really promoted this week's stream anywhere, and I haven't been super reliable in the past few months about streaming every week. So I don't have, not sure how much people are expecting this, but hopefully people will join throughout. I'm eager to see how that works out. I'm just going to pull up some reference images on my screen across the room. And I'm going to focus on this tomato for a moment. Rotate this around so you can see where I'm putting paint down. Hi, Susan. Hi, Paolo. Just saw your career path video, so inspiring. I didn't expect to see you streaming right now. What a coincidence. Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you tripped across me. I try to stream every Friday around 3 p.m. So you can find me here again next week. To be honest, the last few months I've been rather unreliable, but hopefully I've turned a corner on that and I'm now back to streaming more reliably at a reliable time. Yeah, so you can find me whenever. I'm glad that you find my career path inspiring. Amber, what are you doing? What are we doing? Sorry, I've got a puppy here who is very much awake because she slept through the morning, which allowed me to be very productive this morning, but now she's awake, so she's doing troubling puppy things as they do. Amber, what are you doing? What is this? Amber. I'm just gonna go switch my reference. So I'm looking at photo references of tomatoes right now. Originally, I was planning on doing this in the middle of the summer when I could have used garden references, and I did use garden references for some of the things, but not all. And then right now, of course, I can't. So. Hi, Stephen. How are you? I'm fairly sick. I hope it is just a cold. I am also fairly sick, although in my case, I'm relatively certain that it's from the. I just had my booster shot, COVID booster, and I have an autoimmune disease, so my immune system hates me, and overreacts to everything. So I'm tired and I have a headache. Everything hurts and everything sucks, but it's life. Okay, that's a little much with the purple. I can get a little bit in there. And then a little bit more side here. That was a little crazy. There. So this piece has been fairly fun because, I mean, it's realistic, yes, but it's still a fair bit stylized, and there's quite a bit of freedom in how I render things. So I've been able to really experiment with different techniques. Anyway, I will be glad to be done this piece. The end is near. The end is really, really near, finally. You've been watching me do this for, oh, like the better part of a year at this point. That I've been working on this piece. Now, on and off, right? And a lot of it has been that I have been doing other things, and I wasn't super productive for a while last year. So a lot of it has been just, I'm touching this once a week, if that. But a couple hours, but still it's taken a good long while to get it to where it is. When I do edited videos, they get really sped up, so it's not clear how long this actually takes, but painting is not fast. Like painting all these little details and stuff, it takes a really long time. I'm applying to some grants and I need to put in artist fees, and it becomes clear when I'm looking at, grant budgets that the time I spend is a lot compared to some other art forms. Yeah, no, and definitely this one has been, has taken me longer than other pieces of this size. And also, the fact that I'm doing this largely while streaming doesn't help because, I'm talking and getting distracted and switching to other things. Like, it's not sustained effort, but it's definitely been cluttering up my life for a while, and so I'll be glad to see this through. So how was everyone's week? Same old same. It's getting to that time of year where I'm planning my spring garden, which sounds ridiculous, but actually it does make sense to be starting this early. Because I need to start things like onions and stuff, get started quite soon. So now is the time to figure out what I need to buy which is, of course, I don't need to buy anything because I have an absurd amount of seeds, but I will buy things. I don't garden in a particularly thrifty way. The joy for me is largely in the getting to explore new varieties and stuff, and plant unique things. So I've had an interesting time recently because, of course, I find a few varieties that I really like that I got from a variety of different places, and often they're quite rare. So then I haven't gotten great at seed saving all the different seeds yet, particularly like things like carrots, cabbages, whatever, biennials. Like, I'm not good about isolating my varieties. I'm not good about any seeds that need extra processing, like tomatoes need to be fermented to separate them from their seed caps and what have you. So I do save some seeds, and ideally, eventually I'll be saving seeds from all the varieties that, that I really like, that I'd like to use more of. But right now I've saved seeds from, like, I've got my marigolds. I'll be largely starting from saved seed this year. There's one variety that I do need to refill. But I have gem marigolds that I started myself, that I saved seed. I also have cosmos are all from seed. So flowers I've been pretty good about saving seed from, but I'm mostly vegetable garden, and a lot of my vegetables I haven't done great with seed saving. So even the varieties that I have grown that I need to refill, I need to buy back from various places. And then, of course, every year all the different seed companies come up with new stuff, so it's just a matter of like prioritizing what I want to try, because otherwise I'll end up ordering from like 12 different places, and that's not cool, given that I don't really even need any seeds. Succulents on my empty pots. Well, at least she's gardening. Hi, Mom. We were just talking about my it's not done till it's overdone approach to gardening. We'll also have to figure out, like, because I start my seeds way early indoors, and I have a rack for that in the basement, but you see, our basement is well, it's all torn up because we had a sewer backup, a burst drain. What do I do with my excess? Well, the problem is not so much the excess of vegetables, which I try to preserve some of, give away some of. Some ends up going to the compost, and that's fine too. Um, the problem is the excess of purchasing seeds, and particularly the excess of purchasing seeds from many different places. It's silly, you know, most people when they run out of a certain kind of seeds, like, oh, okay, well, I need to plant cabbages, so I'm gonna go get some cabbage seeds, and you just go to the hardware store or something where they have seed displays, and you pick out the cabbage, and that would be perfectly reasonable, but instead I obsess and I go find all the different kinds of cabbages and watch reviews of like rare cabbage types and check all the different seed companies, and then find some cabbage that looks like a mermaid and decide that I need that cabbage in order to live. My garden will just not be complete without that specific cabbage. So it's ridiculous and it needs to stop, but that's the issue with the overdoing it on the garden. It's not really about I wish I could buy from Rare Seeds. I just noticed they used to have free shipping to Canada and they don't anymore, so I'm gonna have to ship them. Like, I do want to get some from Rare Seeds, but I'm gonna have to have them shipped to, I don't know, Alex or something, and then forwarded to me, because they now charge $12 of shipping, which is a little bit insane to get seeds to Canada. But I did find a Canadian company that carries both Hudson Valley Seed Company and Fruition seeds. And specifically, they don't have the full line from either place, but they do have the things I most wanted from each of those companies. So that's cool, because I can get them in Canada, not pay shipping on both. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm only growing up chilies. Oh, that's exciting. I really enjoy growing. I can get them to start and survive the pests. What is this? Move! Austria had no luck. What was the problem? When you start them, like, are you starting them? I guess you probably have a long enough season that you could even start them outdoors, right? Are you starting them outdoors or are you starting inside and trying to get them? Tell me more. What is your problem? What is your problem with starting seeds? Okay. I need to get some really dark, so I'm gonna mix this up. Yeah, but I tried to start indoors, even got a heating mat, no luck. They got attacked by pests when I started them on my balcony and died. If it's mostly. Oh, okay. Well, I start mine indoors. I have for the past 2 years, and it's gone well for me. Did they germinate at all, or? So there's two problems. The first one is that they take a while to germinate, especially if they're not warm. So that's where the heating mat really helps. And having a cover, like a greenhouse cover over your soil also really helps at that point because you want the soil to be moist for them to germinate. Okay, so they didn't even germinate, right? So you already have a heating mat, so that's part one, and then part two is then putting like but those seeds were old, so maybe that was the problem. Okay, yeah, that's possible. Um, yeah, troubleshooting, I would say if you're like, it's possible that just the seeds were old. It's also possible that like some chilies do really just take a really long time. So sometimes you just have to be patient. Like I've had some that even with a mat, even with whatever, usually most of them come up within a few days. But I have had some my ghost chilies took a long while. I've had some that take like 10 plus days to come up, even with the heating mat, even with the cover. But yeah, but first of all, I found that that putting a cover on it really helps. I waited for 4 weeks for them to germinate. Okay, yeah, so that's plenty of time. Did it have a greenhouse cover on it? A small greenhouse made of plastic. Perfect. Yeah, that's all I meant. Like just a lid so that the evaporation like gets stuck so that it's nice and moist. So that should do it for starting them, and then you want the soil to be moist but not soggy, but it stays humid. That's until they germinate. Once they germinate, then if you're going to keep the plastic on them, it's best for it to be vented. Otherwise, they can get damping off. And then once they've started, then peppers get a little fussy about watering. But yeah. It might just be that they were old seeds. I've had great luck with starting peppers. I was really scared of starting peppers or even growing peppers, like even from starts. They're just like, I guess, not a very common thing to grow here. Partially because they do have such a long season. And we have short seasons, so it's I guess it's a problem. Um, but like if you can get them, so even but the weird thing is even at nurseries, you like the problem is starting them, right? So presumably you should be able to get them at nurseries, just like flowers and everything else that has a long process to start. But they're like not super common. You'll get cucumbers and tomatoes, but not so much peppers here. And chilies. So I did get, a few years back, I got, 2 pepper plants. Wasn't expecting much, and they grew great in my garden. So then 2 years ago, I decided to start them indoors, and it went well. Like I have had great luck growing peppers from seed. Now I have to be a little bit careful about varieties, and I do have to start them way early. Like I start mine in February or March to plant out in May usually. And even May, that's with protection. So a lot of success a while ago, so I bought some seeds last year so I can try it this year. What will you do with ghost peppers? I like putting ghost peppers in like spicy soups, but I'll just, rather than grinding it up, I'll just put 1 pepper in and then pull it out. They've also got like a really nice flavor. You can make sauces and stuff with them. Just dosage. Actually, to be honest, ghost peppers were. I started some ghost peppers last year and they got stolen. So I don't know how that would have turned out. Like the whole plant got stolen. I had some serious garden theft issues. But I also, 2 years ago, I bought a ghost pepper plant and I popped it into one of my raised bed gardens, and it made this giant, like it was this tree. It was huge, and it lasted like well past the first few frosts because it's in this protected spot in my yard that doesn't frost super easily. So it was still going strong in October, and I didn't know what to do with all those ghost peppers. Like I didn't plan ahead. I didn't really know. I gave some away. We had some in food. Some of them ended up going bad. Yeah, the ghost pepper plants get huge. Like massive, massive. And a lot of peppers are technically, they're short-lived perennials, so you could bring them indoors theoretically. But they tend to react poorly to the shock of going into a drier environment or not getting as much sun all of a sudden. I have overwintered mine. Yeah, I haven't had any luck overwintering peppers, but I mean, part of the issue is that the one time I tried, they had pests and I got freaked out, threw them up. I also need to try, how's your yuzu tree, Paolo? How's your yuzu? Because that's the other thing that I'm really eager to try. Is I have I've overwintered mine. It is good. No leaves, so a lot of the weather this year because we had like 20 Celsius in September. Yeah, we have like negative 20 Celsius, so it's not like mine will have to go indoors, but I have plenty of other citrus that are overwintering just fine. Like my kaffir lime is totally fine. My mandarin is totally fine. My Meyer lemon is a little bit neglected in my husband's office, but it's actually doing fine. The new Meyer lemon, not the one that got stolen. I had a Meyer lemon stolen too. The yuzu, it didn't even make it to winter. It like I brought it in and a week later it was just dead. So yuzu can withstand negative 5 Celsius, which we never get in here. Yes, but it cannot withstand negative 20 Celsius, which is what we're going to have tonight. Yeah. Okay, so mine looked just like yours. Mine, after I brought it inside, it looked just like yours. I think it had something in the roots, like some kind of pest, and as soon as I brought it inside, it took over. So I need to get a new yuzu. And then I'm trying indoor passion fruit and outdoor passion fruit. So indoor passion fruit is going to be like the regular passion fruit. And then outdoors, I'm going to try the Passiflora incarnata, which is the maypop passion fruit, which is native to here and should be able to survive just fine as long as I put it in a protected spot. So that's cool. I don't know why like nobody's really clued in to we have native passion fruit in Canada, but we do. I was so sad about it. I was so sad too. And then the same thing happened to mine and I was like, oh, okay, apparently this is the thing. I love passion fruit. I love passion fruit too. Love passion fruit. Which one is it? So I am going to get 2. So I need to look it up. Okay, so I'm going to get probably a purple passion fruit for outdoors. So like purple possum, passiflora. I don't know what they. Yeah. Here, I'll put it in. You can remind me in Discord and I'll send it to you, but it's Passiflora incarnata. Is the one that should survive outdoors here. It would definitely survive outdoors where you are. Yeah. It's native to the eastern seaboard of North America. So from like Florida up along the eastern seaboard up into the northeast and going as far as like Pennsylvania. And so it's like, it's basically, we're on the edge of its range, but because the climate is warming and also because you can create a microclimate, because it can survive unprotected in zone 6, it should be able to survive just fine protected in zone 5. And there's actually breeding programs to get like the hardiest versions to survive longer. So I should be fine. I should be able to get it to, I should be able to grow passion fruit. And the thing is, that version has like some of the prettiest flowers. I just like, I don't understand sometimes, like in this case, it is people love passion fruit, but just that there is a native version and apparently like it's a little bit seedier, but it's not like it's really tasty, but nobody even eats it. Like it's weird. It's considered a weed in a lot of the more southern states in its range. just because it's like so aggressive. Love the seeds. I even made the New Year's dessert all about passion fruit this year. I love passion fruit, and I'm really excited to grow my own. And I have a little citrus grove happening indoors. I keep thinking like, oh, I want to add jabuticaba. I want to add like avocado. I want to add. There's all sorts of things that I could grow. And you know, maybe eventually I'll have a passive solar greenhouse and I can do all of these things. But for right now, I don't. I just have a regular house with regular windows. And yeah, property prices in my area are a little bit bonkers. So that's not about to change anytime soon. I think passion fruit looks like snot. Well, don't come over and eat my passion fruit then. So there. No Canadian passion fruit for you. I'm so confused with that. Oh, that's not fun. Never been keen on it. I did get some nice cherries and lychee this week. Okay, yeah, lychee I can't really grow here. It's not really within my capabilities. I am really looking forward to my Canadian citrus. Have some like decently sized trees now. Can I band down? Don't band down. Get along, children. I did grow lychee plant once, but I died after a year. That describes so many things I've tried to grow. I pretend like I have a green thumb, but really what I have is like a lot of thumbs. I just discard all the brown ones. I want to get a black pepper vine and the vanilla orchid. And there's a whole bunch of things that I want for my greenhouse, but alas. My strawberry plants have died this year, which is sad. Your strawberry plants died? How did your strawberry plants die, Dan? Strawberry plants are basically like they're immortal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I shouldn't talk. I managed to kill Sage like 3 years running, so. Ricky got delivered. Oh, sorry, that's groceries. Groceries. Don't kill your mint plants. Yeah. I mean, I haven't killed mint, but. Sage has Sage has beautiful flowers. And I've now managed to get sage to actually grow properly. But I had 3 years running where I was like, I plant all my perennial herbs and sage wasn't staying. And I was like, is it not perennial in my zone? I don't know what I was doing, but. No, Dan. Sorry, you have them indoors in your kitchen? And cold doesn't kill strawberry plants. Like it reaches it's -20 where I am. Like, never mind alpine strawberries. Strawberries in general are like pretty immune and unkillable. Like I have strawberries outdoors. They do great. Like the foliage dies, but then they pop back up. But also, it takes a long while even for the foliage to die, even in the cold. Like, it can go below 0 several times before you even get the foliage dying back. I mean, they might be dead, but I would think it would be more likely a water issue. Like, too much water, too little water, some kind of rot, something. I mean, if you think they might still be alive, you can dig them up and look at the roots. And if the roots still look healthy, then plop them back down. They don't mind being torn up and put back in. And yeah, water them. If the roots are dead, then the roots are dead. I mean, but like, well, they're covered in snow right now, but once the snow melts, I can show you a picture. Like, it's been -20 here. It's gonna go down to -20 tonight again and stay that way for a couple days. Once it gets back above 0, I can take a picture of where my strawberry plants are. They don't mind cold. So now I have excessive drainage. Okay, job for tomorrow. I'm putting my money on dead law. -20. See why? I know it sucks. It sucks. The UK was bad. I mean, okay, so -20 happens here. It's not common, but we'll get a few days every year. Through most of the winter, it's more like it covers. Hi. What are you yelling about? I know. You're very loud. Why? Why are you? Why are you so loud? Why are you so loud? Have you considered being quiet? Is that something that you have considered? Hey, buddy? Have you considered being quiet? It's like loud, but much better. Yeah. Oh, you see. Yes, there's a wolf. I know, there's a wolf in the mirror. There's a wolf in the mirror. Whatever are you going to do about the wolf in the mirror, Ember? What are you going to do about the wolf in the mirror? We've had an average this week of 5C, but we've had lots of rain. Right, so our winter is like, mostly it hovers or just below 0, but like it'll come up above 0 pretty frequently throughout the winter, and just all melt away. All the snow will get slush, and then it freezes again. It's disgusting. -20 is not common. It does happen almost every year, but like, you know, we'll get like 3-4 days of -20. Mostly it's like, oh, -5, -2, +1, -3. Google. Yeah, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. See, you look away and then you don't have to worry about the wolf in the mirror. Isn't that neat? Uh-huh. So you get 2 weeks in February that get around -5 Celsius, and January stays just above freezing. Yeah, so like we hover just below freezing, but like it comes up above freezing pretty frequently. And that's from, I don't know, December through March or so. And it's pretty variable, like it'll come up and down. Remember the polar vortex in 2014? They were warm, and we had like -24 even during the daytime. Yeah, I think I kind of remember that too. There was like a storm in Texas or something, and we were watching the coverage from here. It was like, oh my goodness, there's a pile up on the whatever, because it's record cold because of this polar vortex. It's negative whatever, like the equivalent Celsius of like -4. And we're sitting there like, it's -26. We don't have pilots. March is usually a bad month. It tends to just rain. Okay, sorry. I think I need to take a whiny dog outside before she pees on my floor. So this might just be the end of this short December. Come. I'll take you outside. Come. Sorry, I think this might be the end of this stream because I need to deal with that dog. Okay, bye-bye.